Our next speaker is a person that a lot of us have never heard of. Those of us that have, we're not quite sure how to react. Richard Juday. The title is Contentless Art. Richard is retired from the NASA Johnson Space Center. The question he wrote was, why is he in Longmont? Which once again contributes to the belief that we all know Longmont is the main city for witness protection. When he and Darcy married, she was a student at CSU, and she told him the same way my wife told me when I bought an optical shop in Boulder, it's halfway between Longmont and CSU.
No, Houston.
And Houston. Houston. In New York, we call it Houston. At NASA, Richard worked in a number of technical areas, including random processes, image processing, commode cleaning, and both of which are in tonight's presentation. His hobbies in retirement include badminton, woodworking, beekeeping, hiking, and skiing, and for those of you who do not know, a dab of politics. Now that he is no longer a civil servant, God help us. I give you Richard Juday.
Tony asked me to do something, and I didn't know how to. I don't do real art, so I know how to do art with no content to it. So the images that you're going to see are described in the top section, and I'm going to speak with some Markov text. And this is as much math as we're going to get into. So for the images, you start with a Cartesian grid, and you do complex function, differentiable complex functions on them, but we don't need to worry about that. You just watch the images as they develop. So with respect to the random text, you begin with if there are mathematicians in the crowd, you'll recognize these and appreciate them. They do some wonderful things with random images. Now, the Markov text. Tell me if you can discern from what original source this text came from. And this is order 1, where the words are independently brought up. Then said unto all thine arrows of Joseph of Saul that enter into stubble, darts are abomination to his servants, and it shall stink, and went to present himself without fear. Has anybody got that yet? All right, when you go Markov 2, it starts to make a little more sense. And thou shalt die the common people. Nevertheless, the centurion saw what I was ever wont to haunt. Now the body of his handmaiden, for behold, your sheaves stood round about, and will bring the evil that Ishmael, the son of Joseph, namely of the true, but into the city was pure gold, 5 on the earth, both of the apostles. All right, so that's almost beginning to sound like something that you wouldn't want to be tested over, but it almost makes sense. By the time you get up to order 4, and the Lord spake unto Moses after the death of the high priest, who was called Caiaphas, and consulted that they might put us to death and carry us away captives into Babylon. So Johanan, the son of Kareah, and all the captains of the forces, and Johanan, the son of Kareah, and all the proud men, saying unto Jeremiah, thou spakest falsely. And so it continues. So let's try from a different source. This one is probably as difficult to read in the original from which the statistics are drawn as this is. Should not the same inquiry, it from perceived, reason save thus, too large for any possible experience, can assuming to itself again us. That is always conditioned, is no need, as we object, in order approachable, intuition to save by completely unknown. All right? All right, those statistics are drawn from the Critique of Pure Reason. So I think that is probably as impenetrable in the original. All right. Now, if we used source text as spoken, say, by a 20-year-old these days, if this teenager, ex-teenager said, "Oh my God," yeah, and if you say, "Oh my," well, you know pretty well what the next word is going to be. There's not so much randomness to it. Let's see. This presentation is well accommodated to PK. It's interesting in short doses. I don't think you'd want to have too much of that. But some of it sounds like sermons that I had to hear as a kid, but they were almost interminable in comparison. So PK is nice in that regard. All right. Now then, here is another. Oh, you're ready for this to end. All right. See if you can guess the source of this one. Ordinarily, I think that to verify whether that when LifeBridge repeatedly dodged the majority of anonymously funded attacks, Rodriguez approved of the dog whose owner too was simply explode in favor of his vote for the paper for making too easy a very substantial influence on all the bounds were taken to which I have the LifeBridge makes. Another move, your business or endorsements of discussion, especially since departed, we commend the very large. All right. That was some statistics drawn from a whole bunch of letters I have written and had published in the paper. All right. Yeah. Abuses of this is no deductible, but I don't require divine inspiration to see evasion of the same page of the final arbiters. Is this: evaluate candidates themselves, conduct their behalf. We note that most of them I will serve after loss of the situation underlying my statement. So anyway, I think that's probably as much as anybody can stand of that stuff. And I think there, yeah, here you go. So you can read silently to yourself, probably faster. Look up, if you want to do some of this on your own, you can go online and look up Markov, M-A-R-K-O-V, text generators, and you can find quite a few of them. You can often paste anything of yours into it that you like, and it will draw statistics from your input and generate random text for you, and you can use that then.
Thank you. Which brings to mind those immortal words, he did not even cinderize Recanella. Which for those of you that happened to be high at the time, it would translate as, he didn't even recognize Cinderella.